Hi, this is Carl, and what I want to discuss in this video are possessive pronouns in Spanish. Now, as a language tutor, I've never been overly fond of using all that many seemingly complicated grammatical terms, such as possessive pronouns. I understand that for a majority of linguists, they will understand what it means. At the same time, however, I fully appreciate that for a majority of language learners going through from ab initio learners through to GCSE pupils and A-level students, such a term may come across as being complete and utter gobbledygook. But not to worry, because we can simply look at the words which fall into that particular category and just consider how they translate into the target language, in this case Spanish. What I'll do is, however, try to give you a very concise and brief definition of possessive pronouns so that you see where that particular term has come from if you're interested in knowing why it has come about. A pronoun is a word which replaces a noun, such as a person or a place, without actually specifying who that individual is or what that object is. For example, Carl is a noun, and I can replace that by using a pronoun such as I, which stands in for Carl. So I'm not actually making direct reference to the noun in question, i.e. myself. I'm using a different word to replace it. Possessive just means that we're trying to pinpoint what object belongs to a particular individual. So, for example, if we have the two-noun phrase Carl's book, then we can replace the noun Carl using a pronoun my, and we can say my book in order to describe the fact that the book is my possession. It belongs to me. And so therefore the possessive pronouns in English are as follows: my, your, his, her, its, our, and their, as in my book, your book, his book, her book, our book, and their book. If in English we use those same possessive pronouns and place them before a plural noun, just now I place them before a singular noun, then there are no alterations to them. My book, my books. Your book, your books. His book, his books. Her book, her books, and so forth. Let's have a look at how these words translate into the Spanish language in their shortest forms. My is me. Your, provided that we're referring to one person with whom we have a familiar relationship, a friendly relationship, tú. His, her, its, their, and your, if you're referring to a person with whom you have a formal relationship, and that can be one individual or two or more people, then we also use su. Our, which is nuestro, and we also have your, referring to you guys, two or more people with whom we have a friendly relationship, vuestro. Now, of those words which I've just given, only two of them end in o, those being nuestro and vuestro. With the remainder, mi, tú, and su, there is no change to those forms because in the shortest form, none of them ends in the letter O. So we would use, for example, mi to refer to both a singular feminine and a singular masculine noun. The same would apply to tú, and the same would apply to su. However, with nuestro and vuestro, our and your, referring to you guys, we do have a separate feminine form which sees the O of nuestro change to a, and the same with vuestro, which can change to vuestra before a feminine noun. None of those words will end in s as long as the noun to which they refer is singular. Let's take book. Mi libro, tu libro, su libro, nuestro libro, because libro is masculine, it's singular, it ends in o, we use nuestro, nuestro libro, vuestro libro. If we were to pick a singular feminine noun, then each of the words would remain the same as they did before libro, apart from the two which end in O. Nuestro will become nuestra, and vuestro will become vuestra. Let's demonstrate this by using the feminine noun hija, which translates into English as daughter. The only two which will change are nuestro and vuestro. Mi hija, tu hija, su hija, nuestra hija, vuestra hija. If we have a plural noun after each of those possessive pronouns, then they will end in S. Mi will become mis, tu will become tus, su will become sus, nuestro will become nuestros, nuestra will become nuestras, vuestro will become vuestra, vuestro will become vuestros, vuestra will become vuestras. Let's pick a masculine plural noun, books, libros. Mis libros, tus libros, sus libros, nuestros libros, vuestros libros. We'll pick a feminine noun. We'll pick, for simplicity, for reasons of simplicity, the feminine noun libras, meaning pound coins. Not the best example we might have wished to use, but we can relate it to libros. Mis libras, tus libras, sus libras. Notice there is no change because those three possessive pronouns in their shortest form do not end in O, and so therefore we can't switch to an A for a feminine noun. However, nuestras libras for our pound coins and vuestras libras for your pound coins. Evidently we might have wished to use hijos versus hijas, but the same applies regardless of whether it's a masculine singular noun, masculine plural noun, feminine singular, feminine plural. The same rules apply. If the possessive pronoun doesn't end in O, then it has no different corresponding feminine singular form. If it does end in O, it can switch to an A, but with all of those possessive pronouns, if you refer to a plural noun, then you will add an S. So it's not a case of is the possessive pronoun plural, such as our, that refers to a group of people, and your for you guys referring to a group of people. It's not about the speaker which determines the plurality of the pronoun. It's actually whether the noun to which you're referring is in the plural. And if that is in the plural form, then the possessive pronoun will also be in the plural form, and therefore you will get the matching pairs.